$3 million. In the world of tech deals, that's pocket change. Companies spend more on office renovations. But on January 2nd, 2026, President Trump blocked a $3 million chip deal between the US and China-linked companies, and the shockwaves are still reverberating through Silicon Valley and Beijing. Why? Because in the modern world, it's not about how much a deal is worth, it's about what it contains. And this deal? It contains something more valuable than gold: semiconductor knowledge. Stay with me, because what happened here reveals the hidden war being fought right now for technological supremacy, and it affects every single one of us. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we break down the tech and geopolitical stories that actually matter to your future. Today, we're diving into a story that perfectly captures the new reality of global power, the semiconductor war between the United States and China. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why a tiny $3 million deal just became one of the most significant tech stories of 2026. Let's get into it. So, what exactly happened here? Let's set the scene. On January 2nd, just days into the new year, President Trump signed an executive order blocking a semiconductor deal. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't some massive multi-billion-dollar acquisition that makes headlines. We're talking about $3 million, the kind of money that barely registers in the tech world. To put that in perspective, that's less than what some tech executives make in a single year. But size doesn't matter here. What matters is what was being sold: chip and wafer fabrication assets from a US company to a firm with Chinese ownership links. We're talking about the physical equipment, the technical know-how, and most importantly, the intellectual property related to advanced semiconductors and photonics technologies. The deal had already been completed. It was done. But the US government stepped in after the fact and said, no, reverse it. You have 180 days to divest these assets. Think about that for a moment. The government essentially hit the rewind button on a business transaction because of what it represents. Now, if you're wondering why anyone cares about semiconductor equipment, let me explain why chips have become the most important technology on the planet. Semiconductors are literally the foundation of modern civilization. They're in your phone, your car, your refrigerator, your medical devices, but more importantly, they're in every single military system, every satellite, every communications network, every AI system, and every piece of advanced weaponry that exists today. When we talk about advanced semiconductor and photonics technologies, which is what this deal involved, we're talking about the cutting edge. Photonics uses light instead of electricity to process information, making it exponentially faster and more efficient. This technology powers everything from defense systems to aerospace applications to the next generation of communications networks, including 6G technology that's currently being developed. Here's the critical point. Whoever controls semiconductor technology controls the future, period. It's not an exaggeration to say that chips are more strategically important than oil ever was. You can find alternative energy sources, but there's no alternative to semiconductors if you want to build advanced technology. And this is where China comes in. For years, China has been trying to develop its own advanced chip industry to reduce dependence on the United States and its allies. They've invested hundreds of billions of dollars into this effort, but they're still years, maybe even a decade behind the cutting edge. So what's the shortcut? Acquire American technology, equipment, and knowledge however possible. So what does all of this mean for the future? Let me break down three major implications. First, for global investors and tech companies, the rules of the game have fundamentally changed. International business deals used to be primarily about economics. Now, they're about geopolitics. If you're involved in any transaction that touches semiconductors, AI, quantum computing, or advanced manufacturing, you need to assume that governments, not just markets, will have the final say. National security considerations now override pure business logic. Second, for the semiconductor industry itself, we're watching the world split into competing technological ecosystems. You're going to see an American-led chip ecosystem and a Chinese chip ecosystem, with less and less crossover between them. This means duplication of effort, higher costs, and potentially slower innovation overall. But both sides have decided that technological sovereignty is worth the price. Third, and most importantly for all of us, semiconductors have officially become a geopolitical weapon. They're being used as leverage in trade negotiations, as tools of economic statecraft, and as the battleground for determining which system, democratic capitalism or authoritarian state capitalism, will shape the technological future of humanity. This isn't just about two countries competing. This is about whether the technologies that will define our lives, AI, Quantum computing, advanced communications, autonomous systems will be developed and controlled by open societies with democratic values, or by authoritarian regimes that can use these tools for surveillance and control. So let's circle back to where we started, a $3 million deal that shook the tech world. What happened on January 2nd wasn't really about $3 million. It wasn't even really about one small company's assets. It was about drawing a line in the sand and saying that in this new era, technology, especially semiconductor technology, is too important to be treated as just another commodity. We're living through a technological Cold War, and semiconductors are the nuclear weapons of this conflict. Except instead of mutually assured destruction, we're talking about mutually assured technological dominance or dependence. The question now is how this plays out. Will these restrictions successfully slow China's semiconductor development, or will they just accelerate China's push for self-sufficiency? Will we see more deals blocked, more companies caught in the crossfire? And what happens to global innovation when the world's largest economies stop sharing technological advances? These are the questions that will define the next decade, and they all trace back to tiny pieces of silicon that power our modern world. What do you think? Is the US right to block these deals on national security grounds, or is this going to backfire and hurt American competitiveness? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious about your perspective on this story. If you found this video valuable, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the tech and geopolitical stories that actually matter. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.